Hi, thanks for joining the show today. I'm Lisa Bradshaw. In the studio today I have Molly Draben. She is part of AmeriCorps Vista, and she is going to share information with us about empty bowls. I've heard about it throughout the last couple of years, and I wanted to have her on as well as a volunteer who will join us later in the show. We'll talk more about empty bowls, but first let's talk about the organization itself. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So you're part of AmeriCorps, so you're here for 1 year. Explain to people who aren't familiar how that works. You just graduated from University of Idaho?
Idaho State University.
Oh, sorry.
No, they're very different, for sure.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So I just graduated my degree in political science, and I got into AmeriCorps because I wanted to do really nonprofit work. I wanted to give back to my community. And so I applied for, our program is called Intermountain AmeriCorps, and they put AmeriCorps Vistas and also national AmeriCorps members throughout Chelan and Douglas counties. And we serve for anywhere from 10 and a half months all the way up to a year at various organizations. So I currently serve at the Chelan-Douglas Community Action Council over in Wenatchee, just up on Lewis Street. I'll be there for the next year. My position is called the Development Coordinator, and so what I'm doing is some grant writing, some event planning, specifically Empty Bowls, and helping out with some other programs. The goal of it is to create sustainable programs that the nonprofit can continue on in the future and can build that capacity to do better work and more work in the community.
Well, so AmeriCorps, at what point did you have interest in that? Just for college students and parents watching today who think, well, maybe my student would be interested in that.
Yeah, certainly. Well, it was a few months before graduation. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and it seemed like a really good fit. I knew I wanted to do nonprofit work. I knew I wanted to be a business lady and do kind of administrative work. I applied for a few positions. A lot of people came back and said, we like your resume, but we'd love if you had a little bit more experience. And so I'm going out and I'm getting the experience that I need in order to do this job in the future. And it's been really cool to get my hands dirty and kind of see how nonprofits work and see, because Community Action is a smaller organization in a larger national organization with local chapters, it's cool to see how we not only fit into the community, but into the state and then also into the organization on a federal level.
So you get to learn the systems that are in place on various levels.
Correct.
Obviously, because they're following some kind of protocol that is trickled down from the bigger, larger organizations. And so in this, what made you choose this specific organization? Or is there a blanket application, or do you have to decide which one you're applying for?
Right. So with AmeriCorps, unlike the Peace Corps, because they're very similar, you applied to specific positions. And so I applied to come to Intermountain AmeriCorps and to Wenatchee because I loved the program. Our program director is absolutely fantastic, and I feel like I'm really part of a bigger family, and that I feel really supported in my work and my needs are being met. And that was my number one priority in applying to positions after graduating, was to find a place that I could be of value and that I would be valuable to that organization. And so that's.
So how? Were you familiar with Wenatchee at all?
You know, I've never.
You picked a really great place.
I did. It's kind of a gem, a little not a well-known secret.
We try to keep it a secret. Every once in a while, some big national magazine or something will out us about this fabulous place we live. But
I had never been to the Wenatchee Valley before moving here. I moved here September 2nd, and I started the job September 4th. And so I've gotten to know the community really well, though. It's absolutely beautiful. Everybody's really nice. And I've been so surprised by the amount of generosity that just pours out of this community, especially with the work that I'm doing. And being new here, it's just been fantastic. I feel entirely welcome by everywhere I've gone.
I founded a nonprofit organization in 2011 that I help operate, and I've also worked in positions where I'm helping facilitate support of nonprofits and also matching them with businesses. And that's what you'll find in your time here, is that the businesses are so willing and able, and just really get the importance of connecting with the nonprofits here. It's almost like there's not a difference between the two sometimes, because there's so much partnership and community here.
Right.
So you picked a good place.
No, certainly.
I moved here 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago, and just was passing through town and saw this beautiful river and, you know, the view in August and thought, I'm going to move here. And I found a realtor 2 days ago and I've been here ever since. And so it was pretty much one of the best decisions I've ever made. So welcome to Wenatchee. That's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
So let's talk a bit about the organization itself and what it does in our community.
So the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, our mission is to help low to moderate income individuals connect with resources in their community that can help them reach sustainability. So we have various different programs such as housing assistance, and so we run and operate 2 permanent and temporary housing units for folks that are facing homelessness, and we connect those folks with these programs, I guess, and then they help them out. And then we also have energy assistance for those that need help paying their power bills, maybe in the summer or the winter time. We have weatherization program, and that those folks go into people's houses and they help weatherize.
Make them more efficient or warmer or cooler.
Right. Putting caulking around the windows or weather stripping, things like that. And so these programs, when folks come into our office, we set them up with people with resources that are able to help them.
Right.
Yeah.
And so let's take a break. Let's go to a break real quick. And I just want to talk about, ask you a few things about your experience working with some of the folks that you've been able to help so far.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're talking with Molly Draben. She is working with AmeriCorps Vista here and doing her volunteer work for an entire year in Wenatchee.
12 months, yeah.
So so far she likes us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Elements is a nationwide top 200 salon celebrating 20 years of service in the Wenatchee Valley. We are staffed with educated and experienced designers providing beauty and health services. Visit our Facebook page for our store hours and our menu of services.
Do you want to become part of the most dependable brand of vehicles today? Then start looking at Town Toyota. Come drive the best-selling, totally redesigned 2019 RAV4. Come check out the powerful towing performance of the Tundra. It's built for the worksite and the weekend. Forge your own path and seek tougher roads in the Tacoma. Leave no trail left unchallenged. Whatever your vehicle needs, Toyota has a seat for you. Come visit us today. Do you want to become part of the most dependable brand of vehicles today? Then start looking at Town Toyota. The innovative features of the Highlander are designed to help safely get you and your passengers wherever you want to go. The Prius is the most advanced hybrid on the road today. If you want to roll in style, we've got you covered in the 86 GT. Whatever your vehicle needs, Toyota has a seat for you. Come visit us today.
Hi, we're back. I'm Lisa Bradshaw. I'm here with Molly Draben. She is part of AmeriCorps Vista, and she is partnering or working with Chelan Douglas Community Action Council for the next 12 months. We welcomed her to Wenatchee in September. She'll be here for 1 entire year. So I asked you just before break if you could fill us in about your interaction with clients who come through, and you informed me during break that you don't actually work with clients as part of that. So tell me the breakdown between the 2 programs.
Yeah, of course. So when you apply for AmeriCorps, there's kind of 2 separate programs. So AmeriCorps Vista, which is what I'm doing, is a 12-month service term. And we do capacity building. And so what we're doing is working with an organization to build their capacity to do things, to run their programs. So I'm doing things like grant writing and event planning, kind of some marketing stuff, things like that. Then the other half of AmeriCorps is the direct service, and that's a 10.5-month service term, and those folks are working directly with clients, and they are running the programs, they are tutoring people, they're working at food banks, things like that. And so as an AmeriCorps Vista, I don't specifically work with clients, but I'm working with our organization to build their ability to better help clients.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have known that. So maybe people watching didn't either. So
yeah, it's kind
I'm
of
glad
confusing.
you could clarify. No, it
And
actually
the
does make
general
sense now
breakdown.
that you explained it. And if for people who are watching who are interested in AmeriCorps, you could have applied for that other program. It's not like you have to be at this one for a year and then
Mhm.
graduate to another one. They're equal programs. You just chose this route.
Correct.
Okay,
Mhm.
got it. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the partners that you work with in building these programs.
Yeah, of course. So specifically with Empty Bowls, I've partnered with several, like you said earlier, about the business and the nonprofit communities, that they're almost one and the same, and I've seen that entirely. I've worked with various businesses such as the Wenatchee Health Group or Northwest Health Alliance. They have been sponsors of Empty Bowls, Fred Meyer, other businesses, and then we work specifically with like Chelan County PUD with our energy assistance program to help people with their utility bills, things like that. And so we also have monthly interagency meetings where people that work at nonprofits, they all come together and we all discuss our own programs, what's going on in the community, and are able to share our ideas and make sure that we're all working towards a single goal, I guess. And so
Yeah. So when you made this decision to do it, you're just a recent graduate of Idaho State, and so now that you're participating in this, are you awakened to the need? Had you realized the need before, or is it something you're learning as you go?
Certainly. So I knew I wanted to do nonprofits because there is this need, and I feel that it is a great way to give back to your community, and seeing nonprofits do things for folks in the community. I had no idea how great the need was, and that there are so many different, I guess, ways in which people can be disadvantaged, and so just because somebody can't pay their rent it stems from so many other things,
Yeah, and if they can pay their rent, doesn't
whole.
mean that they have an efficient home that it's warm or safe. I mean,
Right.
or cool in the summer and has all of those things that makes a house feel
Exactly.
warm and safe,
Mhm.
or happy and safe. So I wasn't aware until you told me in the earlier segment that there are organizations that go in and one of your partners will seal windows and do these things.
Mhm.
So it's not just about if you don't have a home, it's how to make your home a better home.
Exactly, right, because there's so many different ways in which people can struggle to get their needs met. And it's not just, well, we'll give them a house and then everything will be better, And so seeing the different ways in which people can be helped and in which people can be disadvantaged has really opened my eyes to the fact that the system works against a lot of people, I guess.
And it can work for it.
Exactly.
With organizations
Certainly.
like Chelan Douglas Community Action Council.
Certainly.
So we're going to take a break. When we come back, Collette Shrader, she's a longtime volunteer for the organization and specifically for Empty Bowls. And we'll talk about Empty Bowls coming up February 17th. And then there's a soup and bread dinner on March 2nd. We'll get into all those details in just a moment.
Awesome. Thank you.
Do you want to become part of the most dependable brand of vehicles today? Then start looking at Town Toyota. Come drive the best-selling, totally redesigned 2019 RAV4. Come check out the powerful towing performance of the Tundra. It's built for the worksite and the weekend. Forge your own path and seek tougher roads in the Tacoma. Leave no trail left unchallenged. Whatever your vehicle needs, Toyota has a seat for you. Come visit us today.
Elements is a nationwide top 200 salon celebrating 20 years of service in the Wenatchee Valley. We are staffed with educated and experienced designers providing beauty and health services. Visit our Facebook page for our store hours and our menu of services.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Hi, I'm Lisa Bradshaw. Thanks for watching the show today. We've been talking with Molly Draben. She is part of AmeriCorps Vista, and she has been working with Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. I have to write that down because I'm sure to get it wrong, and even when I wrote it down, I still got it wrong. That's okay. So here in front of me are examples of the bowls that we're here to talk about, and joining us is Collette Shrader. You're a longtime volunteer for the Empty Bowls program, but also for the council overall.
Yep.
And so we'll talk about the bowls in just a second, but let's talk about you as a volunteer. How long have you been volunteering?
3 years ago, I was contacted to see if I would be interested in a citizen committee to eventually take over running the Empty Bowls program, so that Chelan Douglas Community
See,
Action
it's a lot to
Council.
say,
Yes,
isn't
it
it?
is.
Mouthful, no, for sure.
I usually just say CDAC.
Well, there you go.
So that they can focus their employees and volunteers on other projects. Empty Bowls takes a lot of planning, and it takes up a lot of time, even though the Empty Bowls program is really only like 4 months. But
Yeah, that's what I was figuring out, is that so it isn't something that you hold at just one time. It's held a couple of times, and then there's that main soup and bread dinner after. It's a accumulation of all the people who participated over those other months.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
So the final one for this year, or this program, is February 17th. So so here are the bowls. I'm going to show you these in a second, but it starts out with just a plain white bowl,
Ceramic bowl.
that you pay $10 to use, and then do you all provide the paints and brushes and all of those things?
Yeah, so we hold them Sunday afternoons at Pybus Market. Folks come down, pay $10, 5 for 35, or 35 for 5 bowls. And then you get a blank ceramic bowl. We give you paint brushes, glazes, everything, sponges.
And so this is one that's not fired, that someone just did recently. It's like a peach, you might not be able to see, and then a green here. And then here are some finished bowls once they've been fired and all. I'm amazed by the talent of people.
Look
at this really cute bowl. So it's not just that, and there's, if you can see, there's little pink sponges here, but also look at all the detail here. And then this one with the design inside. Can you see that? And then finally this one. This is bright and colorful. People you have examples for people to look at, or are people just that creative with the clouds? And then the nighttime, and there's stars in here you maybe cannot see. People are just that creative, or do they come? I'm sure they've checked Pinterest and other places before they get there, perhaps.
Some folks come in with an idea in mind how they're going to paint their bowl. People get really excited all year long thinking about how they're going to paint their bowl. Some folks sketch a design on the bowl before they begin, but all we give them is some glazes, some paint brushes, and a blank bowl.
A blank bowl.
And the rest is up to them. Yeah.
So they paint, like coming up February 17th is the last opportunity to do the painting at Pybus at what time?
1 to 6 p.m.
1 to
we'll
6
be there.
p.m. So you drop in anytime between 1 and, you have to be done by 6. And then you keep the bowls and fire them. And then people do they get all their bowls at the March 2nd event?
Right, yeah. So we keep all the bowls. Inspiration Ceramic Cafe up on 9th Street. They actually order all the bowls for us, and they actually fire all the bowls for us, which has been absolutely incredible of them. And they've done it every year for us. And so they fire all the bowls, and then, yes, you get them back at that soup and bread dinner on March 2nd. And then we all come together and then you get a free bowl of soup in your new bowl.
Oh, that makes sense. I don't know why I hadn't made that connection yet. I'm a quick one today. But how adorable. And I love doing crafts and things like this. It's a blank canvas, you know? You can come up with anything you want. So let's talk about, let's just set them out like this so you can see the other designs. See? So let's talk about then who these bowls benefit, the fundraising that goes into it.
Yeah, of course. So the whole Empty Bowls, it's actually a grassroots international organization. And so it started in 1990 in a high school in Michigan, but the whole goal is to raise awareness and raise funds to combat hunger in local communities. And so Wenatchee Valley Empty Bowls started 7 years ago as an offshoot off of Leavenworth's event. And so Leavenworth's event got a little bit too big, and they said, hey, you guys should actually host one of your own.
That's a good problem to have, right?
Not too bad. We're almost running into it ourselves, but not quite. So we started it as a fundraiser for our own North Central Washington Food Distribution Center. And what the Food Distribution Center does is they go around to local grocery stores in the mornings and they collect like day-old bread or cookies, milk, things like that. Things that are donated to food banks. They collect all the food and then they distribute it to 9 area food banks in Chelan and Douglas counties, up in Kashmir, Rock Island, the Wenatchee Food Bank. And then once the food bank is closed and it's over, then they take the food back to the distribution center. And so it's a large organization that feeds a bunch of people every week. And it's a really cool organization and just a big warehouse full of food that has partnerships everywhere in the community with grocery stores and
Farmers.
And farmers, yeah.
So now what's your role as a volunteer for Empty Bowls? What's been your role thus far?
To assist in any way I can during the paintings, but I also volunteer for the sister program, which is called Green Bags. And the Green Bags program is a way for the entire community to assist in this process. And you get a green bag from CDCAC.
Chelan Douglas Community Action Council.
And when you go to the grocery store, you just pick up an extra canned item, non-perishable item, and put it in the green bag. And every 2 months, the volunteers come around and they will pick those bags up off of your doorstep. So you don't have to do anything other. You're going to the grocery store anyway, pick up an extra item, put it in the green bag, and every 2 months the volunteers will drive by and pick up your green bag off your doorstep.
So you can be filling that with whatever non-perishable items you can over that
Yes.
2 months time.
Yes.
And they're aware that you have the bag how? Because you sign up and then
You
they know where to pick it up?
Yes, you sign up, and so with your address, name, address, and so they know where to pick it up, and then they will, as they pick it up, they'll leave you in another green bag or 2, whatever you want.
So if it's the first time you're filling a green bag, where do you get the green bag?
From Chelan Douglas Community
So
Action
you would
Council.
come to their office?
You can, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can come to their office, you can sign up online, and they'll bring it to you. They'll bring you the bags, or you can call.
Okay, so we'll provide the number here for people who are interested in making that phone call, and then also if you do a search for Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, do you know what the website is? The website address?
CDCAC.org.
CDAC.org. We'll try to remember that. So
It's
we'll
a
provide
mouthful, I
the website address for sure during the show.
Mm-hmm.
So then, how many people do you suppose this program feeds?
In that single night, well, we have probably about 500 participants come out to the dinner. We'll probably paint about 800 bowls this time. About 500 people come out to the dinner, and that it's a fundraiser, and so that feeds people throughout the entire year through the Food Distribution Center.
So these funds, there's no way to really know how many people it feeds in the community who are in need, but it goes toward that cause that you're working on all year long.
Mm-hmm. One of our goals this year for the North Central Washington Food Distribution Center is to get actually a refrigerated truck, so that way we can better haul food and haul it longer distances and store it for longer. And we've been trying to get this for a few years now, but I think this year we're actually going to do it. We'll see. So
Then fresher food could be delivered, right? It
most
wouldn't just
certainly.
be non-perishable
More
items.
fresh
Not that
fruits and vegetables.
Right.
And
So then, is there anything else that we could share? So February 17th, I just want to make sure people know, you can still have an opportunity to paint the bowls at Pybus from 1 to 6 p.m. That's a Sunday, February 17th.
Yes.
And then you'll have is that correct?
Yeah, it's the
17th?
day before President's
Sunday.
Day.
Okay. So then, and then you'll be able to participate in this soup and bread dinner, which is March 2nd.
And
Go
if
ahead.
you do not make it to the February 17th painting, you can still come to the dinner. It's $5 for a bowl of soup. We'll have silent auction, raffle items there. We'll have live performances. We'll have a little discussion about hunger, things like that. It'll be a really fun event. So even if you can't make it to February 17th, do come out to the dinner.
Do you have to make any kind of reservation to participate in the painting so you know how many bowls to have and that sort of thing? People coming to Pybus, you just show up and there's going to be there'll be bowls and there'll be paint.
Yeah.
Well, that's
This last Sunday, we actually held one, and we had probably about 250 or 150 bowls painted. painted.
200.
250 bowls painted.
Wow.
234 bowls painted.
Wow. Yeah, so 234 bowls painted this last Sunday. We're hoping for a bigger turnout on the 17th.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I think I might have to take you up on that because I love these crafty things, and what a great gift to give too.
Certainly. 5 for $35 too. You could have a whole set.
Oh, and you could paint the whole set. You'd have to spend the whole day there. That
Yeah.
sounds like a
Yeah,
good time
why
Sunday
not?
for me.
Mhm.
Okay, well, perfect. Thanks so much for being here, and thanks
Thank
for being in
you.
our community. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here with
Yeah.
AmeriCorps Vista, and also you're going to get to see all the seasons being here for a full year.
Definitely. I'm so excited. Winter's been beautiful, and I've heard nothing but good things about the summertime. I'm excited to spend the summer on the water for sure.
Well, thank you for all you do in our community too, volunteering in the ways that you do. And yeah, if you want more information, you can visit the website. It's Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, so that's cdcac.org. .org.
Organization.
Thanks so much for watching.
Awesome. Thank you.
Elements is a nationwide top 200 salon celebrating 20 years of service in the Wenatchee Valley. We are staffed with educated and experienced designers providing beauty and health services. Visit our Facebook page for our store hours and our menu of services.